Good morning. Welcome in on this new week. This Monday morning, there's my phone pinging and tell me I've gone live, reminding me that I haven't yet switched it off. So, hello. Do come on and say hello if you are joining us. Morning, Lisa. Be lovely to see you. Just flicking through my dies, looking for the dies I want. Where has that gone? It is not helpful. I hope everybody has had a good weekend. Lisa, I hope that your launch went well. Yes, yesterday? Was that yesterday or was that Saturday? I don't know. I've lost count of the days. And I hope your kittens are doing well. That was very lovely to see pictures posted of your new kittens. So I hope they're all doing well. I cannot find the set of dies I want. That's not a good start. Not a good start at all. I've not actually been in the craft room very much this weekend. So I hadn't got myself really all set up and raring to go. When you think, well, I don't know, I've got them all in alphabetical order. Are they called something I don't think they're called? No, they don't appear to be called something I don't think they're called. Well, we may have to have a change of plan as we go along, but never mind. We've got a bit of sunshine here. The sky is slightly blue. We're not sort of bathed in complete sunshine, but it's not too bad. It's been a bit wet and yucky over the weekend. Been quite cold actually here. I don't know whether it has for other people, but it's been really quite chilly. Not nice. But never mind. We can't have it all. We do sometimes have to have some rain. Excuse me while I'm scabbling about in the background. We do sometimes have to have some rain to go along with our showers. This is a complete mystery. Oh dear, never mind. Right, as I say, we might have to have a change of plan if they're going to be hiding from us. No doubt as soon as I turn the camera off, they'll go, here I am, I'm here, look, been here all along. Why could you not see me? Never mind, we can do our first card and then we'll have a think and a change of plan as we go along. So who have we got? Who have we got as I scrabble around trying to find my missing set of dies? Oh, we've got Lisa, we've got Caroline and Emma and Beryl. Morning, morning. Oh, good. I'm glad the kittens are doing well. And morning, Jane. So all very exciting. New fur babies in Lisa's house. They looked adorable. They'll keep you on your toes, particularly when they start moving about, won't they? But all good fun. I've just spotted the lid to the glue that I've been missing, but I can't find these dies. That's very odd. Very odd. Right, so what I've got out to play with is the Many Mates stamp set, and we were also going to use the Many Medallions die set, and it just has disappeared from the face of the earth, which is very, very odd. It's not is it a big one? Is that why I can't find it? Oh, everybody breathe. It's a big one. That's why I can't find it. I'm looking in the wrong bit. See, it was alphabetically put away, but just with the bigger dies, not with the smaller ones. Everybody breathe. Let's have a cup of tea. Right. I think it's going to be one of those days. Another of those days. Helen, they're all one of those days. I'm going to grab some memento. Right, this stamp set. I love the fact that you've got this open font on here, which means it gives you the opportunity to colour in and all those sort of things. My original thought was perhaps we could colour one in. And I thought, oh, well, if doing what I want to do, that would be like forever. 3 o'clock this afternoon, you'd be going, Helen, we've had enough of this now. Please can we go away and do something else? So we're still going to carry on playing with this stamp, but we're going to do something slightly different with it. Now I'm going to take the happy birthday, and we'll come back to some more of those sentiments in a minute. We don't need the dies just yet. I've got some ink pads here, and I've got my Stamparatus. Hurrah! And I'm going to grab a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to cut it down. I'm going to cut it down to 14.4. I'm going to swing it round, and I'm going to cut it at 10. Now on my Stamparatus just here, I've put that bit of washi tape across that corner, so I think that's our starting place. We're going to put that just there. Just going to give this a bit of a wipe to make sure it is clean, because I want this to go in this top corner. Pick that up, and then I'm just going to have a look and check that it is straight on that grid just there. We're pretty good. Let me turn it round and have a look. Yep, I think we're pretty good. You've got these grid lines on. This is looking filthy. I must give it a good clean. It stays on, so I need to get my stays on cleaner out to give it a good clean. But you've got the grid lines on your plate, which enables you to line it up. So I think that's going to come quite nicely into that top corner. I might just wiggle it over a little bit. Just so the happy birthday just here is lined up with this grid line. I want it to come... perhaps that's a bit too far. This is the most difficult bit, isn't it? Lining it up. Making sure you've got it in the right place to start with. Still not quite happy that it's too far over. Perhaps I should have just left it where it was in the first place. Yep, about there I think. Okay, so we're going to have our happy birthday in this top corner to start with. Let's have a look how that comes out. If it's not in the right place, we'll turn our card over. All pieces of card have two sides for a reason. And I'm stamping this in Memento Black. Brilliant. I'm now going to lift it out and skip 2. Stamp again. And lift it out and skip 2. And hopefully, yes, that just about sits on there. Now what I should have done, I'm now going to lift this piece of cardstock up right to the top. And to bring it back to the beginning, and then I'm just going to skip 1. And skip 2. Brilliant. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to turn that round completely. Bring it back to the beginning. Now to get it all going all the way down one line, I would need to put this piece of card right the way down the bottom here and then move to the card upwards if I wanted it to go all the way down in a nice line. But we're actually going to turn it round and have it upside down. So we're just going to repeat the process. 1, 2, 3, bring it back, move it along 1 and move this card right up to the top. I think I'm going to need to give my Memento ink the lid a good clean, because I seem to get smudgy fingers every time I use my Memento at the moment. Move it across 2. And we'll do that again. Okay, so whichever way we have that now, we've got a bit of a push me pull you going on. We've got lots of happy birthdays going on in the background. So what I thought I'd do, rather than colouring them in individually, I've grabbed one of my favourite stamp sets, the Painted Poppies, and I've grabbed out the big blob out of the Painted Poppies. And here I have got some Balmy Blue, some Mint Macaron and some So Saffron. So some sort of pastel-y colours. Let me just move that out of the way for a minute. And let's go with our Balmy Blue. And we'll splatter that one. And then we'll go Mint Macaron yellow. And then I think if we do this one yellow and this one blue, so that we haven't got those colours sitting next to each other, that obviously needs re-stickifying on there. So green, yellow, yellow, blue. So if we come green, yellow, if we come this one blue, let's see how that goes, and we'll add in the other splats. So this is just adding in some colour without necessarily colouring in, to make sort of a nice funky background, the sort of card that's quite nice for young people, teenagers. Let's come in with our green. We're going to have this one green, yellow. We're going to have that one yellow. We'll have this one green. And this one green, I think. And then once more with feeling, we'll fill those other ones in with some So Saffron. My microphone trapped around the wheel of my chair. I can feel it knotted around my legs. Not be good to suddenly cascade backwards So let's fill in our ones with yellow. There, it's quite fun. So lots of happy birthdays. Hi Doreen, hi Janice, hi Carol, hi Angie, hello Sarah, Jane. Okay, so that's lots of happy birthdays stamped with our Stamparatus using the hinge method, and then just gone over the top with some splats. We need to pick out one of those colours for our background, I think. Oh, no, that's not balmy blue, that's pool party. Let the dog out. There's some balmy blue. Now, might need to get some bigger pieces of card, we will see. Could possibly trim that one. Oh, they're not quite big enough. We've got some, we could go green. We could go, let's just have a look to add some colour in just to see which way we want to go. We could go yellow, or we could go balmy blue. I think I'm just going to give it a balmy blue background. We'll go on a balmy blue card and we'll use some green and yellow to come across the middle bit just here. So let me grab a piece of balmy blue to make a card base with. Sorry, I was just keeping half an eye on the dog, wondering what he was up to. Looks like he's having a good old smooch and sniff round at something. Right, so we've got a card base there. Ooh, is that only? Ooh, I didn't think that looked quite right. No, those are trimmed down to 14.4 for some reason. Let me grab another piece. Let's do it right. Let's come in at 14.9. Cut it. Swing it round. Score it at 10.5. We have that coming there like that, and then we're going to take some of our mint macaron and our so saffron to do a greeting. So with this particular stamp set, you get these big greetings, get well, happy anniversary, and then you get these sort of smaller add-ons, if you like, that you could put inside. But I thought we'd add one to the front here. So we could have today is all about you. We could have this calls for a huge celebration. I'm glad you were born. Let's go with This calls for a huge celebration, I think. There we go. So let's put that on a block and find our mucky memento. I'm going to stamp that just there and find my trimmer again. It's starting to get a bit untidy in here again. I'd got it quite nice and tidy, and then seemed to have gone a bit skew-if. I'm just trying to centre up that greeting a bit, just under 3.5 that way, and make it about the same that way. Okay, that's fine. And then I'm going to cut this so that it is, can we trim it to 1/2 inch? Just look at that, just by a wisp. So we'll have that as a 1/2 inch. And then we'll trim a piece of the mint macaron to 3/4 of an inch. Stay there. Okay, and let's bring in our pick a punch. Excuse me. Sun coming through, sneezes coming through. So I think for this one we'll use this flat ended punch just there. We can come in, push it right in, and do the other one as well. And then with this one, I think we'll do the fancy one. We'll have a bit of mix and match going on. Why not? Now this is where we're going to get use our bit of gizmo. So we're going to have that sitting on the top there like that. We want this to come in so it sits there. So let's find a pencil or something just to mark. Oh, it's a colour pencil, but that will do. We just want to mark where we want to chop that off. And then we will do that end. And then hopefully when we come to put it all together, yes, fits beautifully. Let's run some Tombow down the back of this. Let us have a dig about and see what we've got in terms of ribbons and things. Actually, I think perhaps linen thread some linen thread and wrap it a couple of times around here. Try not for now, may well wiggle around with where that's going to be. Bring that across this way a little bit. You can slide it across when I get hold of that. A little bit this way, a little bit that way, till we're happy with where it is. Yep, around about there. Let's bring in some dimensionals on the back of here. Just stick that down directly to the card base. And we do itty bitty bow. Now we just need a bit of something else on there. I'm just going to take my microphone off a moment while I blow my nose. Excuse me. That's better. You really didn't need to hear me trumpeting down the microphone. Let's see, what have we got that we could just put a little bit of something on there. Might go actually for, because these are quite masculine colours, so we don't really want flowers and butterflies and those sorts of things. Let's dig about in the Garage Gears set. Let's have a look at some of these. Yes, that would work, couldn't it, with that sort of whole splatty thing going on. I'm going to cut that one in blue, one of these in So Saffron, and one in mint macaron. So let's do that. There's always something to be found. And gears are just they are just an incredibly useful little thing to have. You can do sort of steampunky cards or sorts of things with gears. They are an interesting little accessory to have in your armoury. Like having buttons, isn't it? Just kind of a more masculine out you come. There, they're quite fun, aren't they? So let's pop those on. There we go. So sort of quite plain, it's quite simple, clean and simple. Something for sort of, as I say, sort of teenage boy type. Or your garage mechanic. Either or. But that's fun using those splatty stamp to colour in that open happy birthday. As I say, we could have taken our markers and we could have coloured each one of those. We could have made it rainbow coloured. Be really fun with children to stamp some of those for them to colour in, to put on cards they're making. And you've also got the "You're just so fabulous" and "It's your day" in that same sort of open font that you can just add into little projects. Let me just pop these gears onto my magnetic board just here so they don't wander too far, and we'll pop. There's the other one. Got some nice splatters on my mat as well now. Right, now that was really quite sort of masculine colours. I was digging about looking for some colours. I thought, let's use the Magenta Madness. So this is one of the new in colours, this Magenta Madness. And I was going through the pinks and things and deciding what would work quite nicely with it. So there we've got Melon Mambo. So that shows those two colours together. But I've added in some gorgeous grape because there is real sort of tinge of this being a purpley sort of a pink. So I thought it'd be quite nice to add in a bit of a tinge of purple in there as well. And see where that takes us. And I thought that we would go back to this mini medallions. Now the other day we used this big die on a card, and I saw that earlier and had it to one hand with one side. We used it and we have butterflies on the top, and if it flies back into view in a minute I will share it with you. Here it is. So this was the one that we used the other day, and we die cut that whole big die, and we did cut a strip off of it, but we used that big die. But I thought we'd come in and we'd perhaps do something with these little bits. And I'm thinking it might be quite nice to sort of layer them up. So I would think we'd probably want, let's turn this piece of card over, to go across the front a normal standard size C6 card. How many would we want? 3, 6 would probably do it, knit 2 of each. Or do we want let's go with 2 of each, and we might need to go in with a third. We will see. So I think we will have, as I say, we've got some melon mambo. Let me just see if I've got any little bits that I can be using up. The colour families are getting mixed up down here. Some magenta madness. Right, I'm going to cut 2 of those in magenta madness. And let's have 2 of those in melon mambo, and we'll have 2 of these in gorgeous grape. Right, so just do some die cutting. Just trying to see how much card I can get on my plate at one time without having to run it through too many times. Right. All 3 of those on there. Really not doing very well today in the whole being able to see where things are. I think I'm losing the plot. It's being a bit like having a baby in the house at the moment. As you may know, our dog Tazzy had was diagnosed with cancer last November, and obviously he's an old boy. He's 14 round and about. And I'm having to get up sometimes in the night, well, quite a few nights, to let him out, which has never been what we've had to do before, but suddenly we're having to let him out at night, which means, and I've got half an ear open for him, I'm sure, all night. So it's a bit like having a baby in the house again. So I'm not having disturbed nights. If ever, yeah, I certainly think hats off to any sort of older ladies that start out with new babies. Yeah, I'm not sure that I would be up to that anymore. Occasional babysitting is one thing. I've now seen my plate, now I've been and found another one. But yeah, bless him. Oh, that moved. That's frustrating. I wound it back the other way and it obviously moved. We'll do that one again. Once more with feeling with magenta madness, we just have crumbs. It obviously cut beautifully the first time, went back the other time and cut the beautiful pattern to shreds. Goes to show the die's working. It's the operator that's having problems. Right. Once more with feeling on the magenta madness. Stop wiggling. going to run that one back through again. It's on a, there's the pink, and I want one more Magenta Madness. Have I got another odd bit? Yes. And here we go. Beautiful. Okay, let's take these bits out. Let's knock off our oddments. We should have all our little bits to one side. Let's get our pokey tool and pop these out. I'll clean those up in a minute. Take that bit out of there. So these are obviously lovely just to use as borders individually on cards and things. Don't need to use them all. You just need to have one. You could use this sort of as a bit of a almost like rick-rack ribbon effect on something. Really pretty. You might even be able to build them on top of each other. Let's have a look in a minute. Let's have a bit of a play before we start sticking them down. With what your opportunities are. So that might be quite pretty with this. Coming across the middle there. Could have one of them in foil and one of them in cardstock. That's pretty. Will they offset? They will a little bit, but you could offset them and build up a like a mosaicy bit with those together. So lots of options. But I think we're going to take a piece of Whisper White cardstock. The other thing you could of course do with them is you could cut them out of a piece of scrap paper and use them as masks, so you could sponge through them. That would be pretty. I'm going to cut this down to 13.9 and 9.5, just so we can put a mat behind it of whichever colour we decide. So let's have a look. So that fits beautifully on that 13.9 mat. All fingers and thumbs today. I'm just generally all over the place today. That's pretty. What shall we have? Shall we go for a our new in colour. We'll go for a Magenta Madness card base. And I think we'll pop that and have a bit of gorgeous grape going on. And I'll cut that to 14.4 by 10. Come behind here. Let's stick these in place. Shuffle, shuffle. So let's, again, I could have used some double-sided sticky on these so that I could have just peeled them off. If only I didn't keep forgetting that I haven't got any of the new. I still have some of the old retired one, but we do the same job, and you can get double-sided sticky. And let's just put some sticky dots in those gaps and lay that down. And then just spacing. Could have squeezed these up a bit more and put another Magenta Madness one in the middle, but about there, I think. So let's go for spots of glue in the middle of these bits. Ooh, got a buzzy fly. And we've got our gorgeous grape diamond. And we'll just put some little spots of glue in those pieces. Back to our Magenta Madness. So this is a nice card to show how all these dyes work together, but also how that new in colour works with some of the other colours we've already got. How it sits with that. It makes the melon mambo look almost red, doesn't it? Anyhow, when you put different colours alongside different colours, they suddenly take on a new angle. Seem to take on a new life. Right, there we are. Let's pop that one down there. I'll get my big block and give that all a good big press down. We now have all our zigzaggy patterns on there. I'm going to stick that to that piece of gorgeous grape. Oh, sorry. Morning, Sam. Oh, ironing. Hi, Mandy. Hi, Tina. I actually have family in, well, I assume they're still in Victoria, in Australia, but I've lost contact with them. My uncle went over to Australia with his first wife just after the war, and they had children. He then remarried, but has long since, him and his wife have long since died. My mum and her family have long since died, so I have no contact with that side of the family. It's a shame, really. Not quite sure what's the best way to go about hunting them down. That sounds very very violent, doesn't it? Don't mean that at all. Catch up with them. That would be better, wouldn't it? Rather than hunt them down. It sounds like a sequel to Jumanji. Right, let's oh, Mr. Bee, you're being very noisy. Buzzing away. Let's put some dimensionals on the back of that. There's a real pop of colour. What of our greetings should we have with that one? What about just thinking of you? That would be quite nice, wouldn't it? And perhaps we'll stamp that on black onto, I think perhaps we'll go with the Magenta Madness again, just because it's new and we're having fun playing with it. Have I got a bit that's big enough for what I want? That one might be. Just thinking of you. You had a bit of an overstamp going on there, Helen. What was that about? And then we'll dig about. Let's have a look at our tasteful labels. These are going to be so useful, aren't they? And they're a bit big. Let's try that one. About that way. Yes, let's come that way. Right, okay, I can't possibly have lost 2 plates from Big Shot. Oh, do you think I should just go back to bed and get up again and try again? Oh, I can see one. Just thinking of you. And I think we'll come in with haven't got the new Melon Mambo stamping blend yet. Got one of those coming. We could have added in a Melon Mambo stamping blend, but instead I'm going to grab the Builder Dog Punch. That's still still available in the catalogue and still just so useful for punching out little hearts. So where did it go? It's there. I think we'll have two gorgeous grape ones and a melon mambo one. And I'm going to stick this one flat. Oh, that's got a lot of glue on it. Stick this one flat. And then that little melon mambo one. Oh dear. Ladies, ladies, ladies. I can see it, look. It's stuck to the front of my card. They're beautiful, aren't they? That's really bright and vibrant, isn't it? So gorgeous grape, melon mambo, and the new magenta madness. And because this is unashamedly girly, isn't it? The other one might have looked sort of masculine and teenage boy. This is really unashamedly girly. Might be quite nice for a teenage girl, actually. Let's put some little rhinestones on it. Let's add some bling in there because we can. And we'll put some dimensionals on the back of that, covering up our very funky. Right. So this is using that Many Mates stamp set that's got some fabulous greetings in it. So you've got these big greetings at the top here and these smaller ones that are either good for adding in like a little sub sentiment, if you like, or for the inside of your card. You know, you could have this one inside here. So just thinking of you because you make me smile. That would be quite nice, wouldn't it? So you've got the sentiment stamp. And then you've got these dies, and you've got this really big, huge medallion die that we used the other day for this card that makes a background. And then you've got these three strip ones that I need to clean out now that we've used to build up these. That, as I say, we've used to build up a whole card back, but would be really nice just as a border down the edge. Just a little bit of added something, use it as sort of a ribbon, those sorts of things. So, yep, we can use them on their own, but as sort of embellishments. We can use them on their own to create whole cards like we have done here, or they're really useful just to dip into and dip out of when you just need that bit of extra something else. You just need something down that edge, or just needs a bit of something, but I don't want to use a ribbon, or those sorts of things. Really good. And as I said, the other thing you can do is die cut them out of a piece of scrap paper and then use it as a mask and sponge through them, spritz through them, all of those sorts of things, and create nice backgrounds that way. So, bit of fun with the Many Medallions and the Many Mates stamp set. So that does come as a bundle, so you can get the pair for your 10% discount, or you can add that bundle into your starter kit if you are considering getting your starter kit, and that's something that you want. So thank you for coming and playing. Thank you for bearing with me this morning. Honestly, I'll make sure I perhaps have to take the medication tomorrow. Actually, I have been taking the medication for my leg. Perhaps that's it. Perhaps it's the antibiotics sending me doolally. I don't think so. I think that would just be an excuse, Helen. I think you're just going doolally. But thank you for being here. Thank you for playing along. And I will see you all again at 9 o'clock in the morning.